Chapter 4. Standing Guard. It was a long night. Miguel and I took turns to stay awake and watch over Blizzard. He managed to sleep a little. Miguel made him a tiny pillow and a healing blanket. They were both invisible, and I wished hard all night that the goodness in them would seep into Blizzard's body and mind. I badly wanted him to feel even the tiniest bit better. It was breaking my heart to see him so low. I was also worried that Sky and the others would wonder where we were, but Miguel assured me that he'd talk to Jax via telepathy. At about 3 in the morning, I heard footsteps approaching. I roused both Blizzard and Miguel. Blizzard turned off the heater and stood to attention. In the moonlight, he was such a forlorn figure, so skinny and pale. My, said a voice from the darkness. It was Invictus, with one of Bishop Thieves' assistants, Ghoul. I was so angry with Invictus for being a traitor. It was devastating. Miguel frowned at me and put his finger to his lips. "You're coming with me," said Invictus. "Do we have to go outside?" asked Blizzard. "Maybe," mumbled Invictus. "I don't have any shoes," said Blizzard. Invictus stared at Blizzard's feet. "What sort of an idiot loses his shoes?" he asked. Blizzard stared at Invictus. I could see that Invictus knew how Blizzard had lost his shoes. Ghoul scowled. "He's an evil kid," he said. "Let him shiver." Invictus frowned at Ghoul. "No child is evil," he said, "and if they are, it's our job to rid them of it. The last thing we want is an evil wizard." Ghoul looked offended, but nodded in a simpering sort of way. "Of course, Great One," he said, "of course." Invictus sighed. "Don't call me Great One," he said. Ghoul simpered again, agreeing with Invictus. Of course, he kept saying. "Shut up," said Invictus, waving his hands over Blizzard. "Have some shoes and a coat, and don't lose them again." Blizzard nodded, but said nothing. "Thank your master," said Ghoul, dribbling as he spoke. "I'm not his master," said Invictus, "or yours." Sorry, said Ghoul. "Ghoul," said Invictus, "be silent." Ghoul snapped his mouth shut, but I could see by his narrowed eyes that he was furious. Miguel and I remained invisible and followed Blizzard as he shuffled along behind Invictus and Ghoul. We went down several staircases, and after a while I realised that we were in underground tunnels. There were no windows anywhere, and the floors of the tunnels were simply dirt. "Wait here," said Invictus, walking off with Ghoul. Chapter 4.4. The Dungeon, still written by Ben in black ink. After we were sure that Invictus and Ghoul had gone, Miguel and I became visible to Blizzard. "They have no kindness," said Miguel, wrapping his arms around his friend. "But we know the way of real magic. Remember that." Blizzard slumped to the ground. "I'm tired," he said. "Thank you, but it's over." "It can't be over," said Miguel. "I remember the prophecy spoken to both of us by Angel. Remember when she visited from Marescimar? She said they were true." Blizzard nodded. "Maybe," he said. "Or maybe they were part of a plan to build up our hopes and then dash them. I can feel the life force leaving me. It's draining away." With a loud snapping sound and a puff of pink smoke, a penguin appeared. He had enormous yellow feathers on his head. They quivered when he nodded at each of us, clearly able to see through our invisibility magic. "Paladin, how did you get here?" I asked. The penguin bowed and stared at me. "Excuse me, young master, but I'm not Paladin. I'm his father, Arthur, and I'm here to see Sir Blizzard." Blizzard nodded at Arthur and then hung his head. "I'm done, Arthur," he whispered. "Please tell Asmax that I've tried, but I'm done." Arthur rose up very tall, and his yellow head feathers stood to attention. "Governor Asmax is about to join the boys in the dining hall," he said. "She asks that Miguel and Ben meet her there, and she wanted me to tell you, Sir Blizzard, that she will be in the dungeons to talk to you very soon." Miguel and I looked at one another. "Now," said Arthur, nodding his yellow head feathers towards the wall. A massive hole emerged, and we were free to leave. "I will stay with Sir Blizzard until the governor arrives. You two, away, quickly."